Welcome, everyone. I'm Donna Russell. I'm the nurse manager for integrative medicine and radiation oncology at the Comprehensive Cancer Center. We're so excited that you're here with us. This is our second session of Wellness Wednesday, and today we're going to focus on movement. We have three wonderful speakers, and I'd like to provide a brief introduction. Before I do that, I just wanted to let folks know that both the chat and the QA will be open. Feel free to add anything in there, and we will either respond in real time or toward the end of the program. But we really want this to be interactive, so certainly feel free to send us some thoughts. I'll start with Dr. Moratov. Dr. Lori Shore Moratov is board certified in internal medicine, integrative and functional medicine, and also medical acupuncture. We also have Dr. Alex Fang with us today, OMD, PhD, and a licensed acupuncture. Briefly about him, he was born in China, raised in Taiwan, and he immigrated with his family to Oakland in the 1960s. He's a renowned traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, and he really has been pivotal in advancing the entire integrative medicine movement. He's chaired NCC AOM. He's been a consult for the California Acupuncture Board. He's taught at the Oakland School ACCHS. He's also the first traditional Chinese medicine practitioner to receive credentialing at Sutter Bay hospitals, and he's taught the innovative medical Qi Gong for people living with cancer for the past 16 years. He's produced Tai Chi and other martial arts medal winners, and also has an advanced black belt in judo, jiu-jitsu. So certainly I'm really excited for his involvement. And last but not least, we have Allison Jervis. She's an oncology nurse here at the Alta Bates Cancer Center. She specializes in breast and gynecological oncology nursing. Allison's also a certified personal trainer, and she integrates fitness and activity recommendations to help patients recover faster and improve their health outcomes. Allison is also the co-leader for our Cancer Center Survivorship Seminar, which is called Renew. So again, I welcome everybody to this webinar, and I'll step back and let these wonderful professionals take over. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Donna. That was really nice. So welcome, everybody. Welcome back. And for the new people that are joining us today, welcome. We will be spending the next 45 minutes or so talking about the next pillar of wellness, which is movement. And we have some special guests today. Just as a refresher, our foundations of health. Last month, we talked about nutrition, which was a really fun talk. And that's available now. It's recorded on our YouTube channel, which I have details about later. Today's about movement and all about the mind-body connection and longevity. Next month, we'll be featuring stress management with a PhD in psychology, where we'll get to be practicing mind-body exercises. And then the other pillars, which are super important, restorative sleep. You know, if we're not sleeping and we're not taking care of our cortisol levels and our adrenals, it's really a big pillar of health. Community and connection, and then environmental detoxification. So I hope everyone can join us for all six. And of course, why are we here? You know, it's always good to think about why we're addressing this, why we're doing these pillars. And we could always just skip to number 4, which is to feel better. But, you know, our bodies are smart. It's just that we have to give it the right input in order to heal itself. So these pillars are really important to prevent chronic disease, boost our immune system, and to think more clearly. And I think you'll see how movement really addresses all of these issues. So today, thank you, Donna, for introducing Dr. Alex Fang and Allison Jervis, certified personal trainer. Movement is really important, not only to keep us strong as we age, but also to keep our minds sharp. We'll be talking a little bit about that. And here's an overview of what we'll be talking about today. We'll be spending most of our time on weight training and Qi Gong. but we'll also be touching on cardiovascular exercise and the important topic of protecting our bones as we age through exercise, as well as restorative exercises. It's nice, you know, when I think of exercise, I just picture, jogging or an aerobics class or perhaps weight training. But there's different types of exercise and there's different types of movement, right? So there is your muscles, building up your muscles, which we'll be talking about, but there's also flexibility, which is also important for our everyday movements, picking things up off the floor, reaching over to get something, and flexibility also helps our bones because we have to be strong and flexible. So that's where restorative exercises and I think Qi Gong will come into our practice also. And then this is something I introduced at our last webinar, which is finding your why. Whenever we're thinking about changing our lifestyle, I think it's really important to think, connect to something big, right? To motivate us to do something. For me, I really connect with having more fun and feeling more confident. I'd like to live longer, of course, but I also want to feel good as I live longer. And I think movement is really important for this. Allison, I wanted to ask you, do you think finding your why is important? And have you thought about that at all?
Well, thanks, Dr. Moritov. Absolutely. I mean, for me, finding my why, I think about what is the deeper meaning, the reason why I get up in the morning, what are the deeper reason behind my goals, and what motivates me when things get really tough. Like when I don't want to exercise, for example, or I don't want to follow through with my goals, what motivates me? And that is my reason why. For me, it's the longevity. For me, it's feeling uh, setting myself up so I can be independent for as long as possible, and so I can enjoy time with my family.
Mhm.
That's what's meaningful to me.
I think that's really nice. And you touched upon a topic, which is motivation, like, why am I about to do this thing? And so I think it's nice to have an option, right? And that's why I'm trying to introduce different types of exercise to people today, because maybe you don't feel like getting on the elliptical or weight training, but maybe some restorative yoga or some Qigong would be good. So I like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Talk about all those things.
Yes. Okay, so I want to introduce this is the first important topic that we're going to talk about, and it is really true. Muscle is the currency of longevity, right? So as we age, maintaining and even growing our muscle mass is super important, not only for our strength, right, but also for our metabolism. Muscle is the largest producer of glucose transporters, right? So there's more muscle, you have better control of your blood sugar level. And as we age, I don't know if this happened to a lot of people in the our attendees, you can put in the chat group if it has. Our hemoglobin A1C tends to creep up a little bit, our blood sugar. And we could say, what the heck? What's going on? I'm eating the same amount of food, but perhaps we're sleeping a little less better, or perhaps we've lost a little muscle mass, right? Because that does naturally happen as we age. So building, maintaining muscle really helps our metabolic health. Um, it also, of course, prevents falls. The number one rule of osteoporosis is don't fall, right? So we want to, stay on our feet, and that really helps a lot. Um, the stronger, the more muscle you have, the longer you live, for sure. And then I wanted to mention cognitive function. This is something that people might not connect right away. Like, how does having muscle help my brain? Well, building muscle produces something called brain-derived neurotropic factor, and that helps neuroplasticity. It helps our brain cells be healthier. And so building muscle does help our cognition. So I just wanted to introduce that, and maybe that will help motivate people. Sometimes people will say, I really want to protect my memory as I age. Well, exercise is a perfect way to do that. Um, So sarcopenia, I wanted to introduce sarcopenia. Um, Allison, what do you think about sarcopenia? Have you come across that in your clients at all?
Yeah, so sarcopenia, yes, we see that in patients here at the Cancer Center. This is what motivated me to train as a personal trainer so I could advise our patients. But sarcopenia, the loss of muscle mass happens for, various reasons. It could be from inflammation, from surgery, from chemotherapy, from infections. And I see this a lot, but the good news is we can reverse it in a lot of cases.
That's so true. Dr. Feng, what about you? Do you see a lot of muscle loss in some of the people that come to your studio?
Yes, similar to what other people have talked about for whatever reason, inflammation, lack of exercise, aging, injury. So all of those can cause
It's so true.
muscular weakness.
I see it a lot, and it's really sneaky. It's sort of like one year you could see somebody and they're getting around, they're doing their daily activities okay, they're going to the market, they're taking the groceries up. And then the next year they're much weaker. And it could be that they did develop some inflammatory condition like COVID, God forbid, right? And that kept them immobile a little bit. I did see a lot of people actually during COVID, when it was at its worst, lose a lot of muscle mass because they weren't getting out of the house as much. And I just wanted to point out, so you can see in this image, it's quite dramatic how this is a thigh muscle, how as we age without exercise, this naturally happens. It's a loss of hormones, right? So it's a loss of testosterone and estrogen that causes our body to lose muscle mass. There's some other risk factors here that I wanted to point out. So poor diet, low physical activity, obviously. Now, vitamin D, you might think of vitamin D as a bone nutrient, and it is for sure. Calcium absorption is improved with vitamin D intake. But vitamin D is also anti-inflammatory, and I thought of that because of what Dr. Feng said, inflammation. So vitamin D is a hormone, and it helps regulate our immune system to decrease inflammation. So checking your vitamin D level is super important to maintaining muscle mass. Okay, so let's talk about weight training a little bit. So obviously we want to preserve our muscle mass. I have a few things here, but Allison, how do you get people started since you're our expert here on a weight training?
Yes. Well, first, I want to say you're never too old to start weight training. Weight training is for life. And we have studies that show that people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond can gain strength and muscle mass through consistent strength training. So if you haven't done it in the past, you're never too old to start. Strength training is also something that is based from muscle memory, and your nervous system remembers these skills. So we also see older clients who start strength training and they have immediate gains and quick gains because their muscles remember what they've learned and what they've done before. So how to get started, Dr. Moritov? My number one thing is pick something that you love. Pick something that you enjoy, that gives you pleasure, because then you're going to keep coming to it over and over again. And it can be, whatever part of movement it is. It can be the cardio, it can be walking, running, swimming, dancing, roller skating. You're out on a kayak or a paddleboard, or it could be weight training, or it could be a combination. And I'll talk a little bit more as we move forward of what that would look like.
Okay, great. And I think we have some videos next of you showing us some proper technique and form, because I think when you do start, it's great. But it's good to keep it simple, as I have here, and then also to make sure you go at a pace that doesn't injure yourself, right? You want to improve yourself but not injure yourself. And these are the fundamental movement patterns that we had talked about. Allison and I had talked earlier, and she mentioned that these are the fundamental movements that are super important to get us through life. Can you explain them a little bit?
So your fundamental movement patterns, they're like the building blocks of human movement, and they're natural ways that our bodies are meant to move. You know, we are often our most of our jobs are in chairs these days, and that is not how our bodies were designed by nature. Our bodies were designed to do these fundamental movement patterns, and so they involve using large muscle groups and oftentimes in dynamic ways. So you're maybe you're using two groups at one time, and you're really changing how you your orientation with movement when you engage in these movement patterns. So pushing, pulling, squatting, lunging, these are all things that relate to everyday life, like pushing open a heavy door, or pushing a grocery cart, or lifting your groceries out of the car, or squatting down to pick something up, or if you fall, pushing yourself up, or taking the stairs and being able to make it, or bending over, or rotating to reach something high above you. So when we practice these and you become comfortable, you become more stable in everyday life.
Yeah, and the hinge is the bending over, right? That when I first saw the word hinge, I was like, what is that? Okay, bending over. Excellent.
It's a hip hinge.
Hip
Yes.
hinge.
Think
And what
about like when we were hunters and gatherers and we had to hinge over to pick berries or pick something up off the ground. It's a hip hinge. Yeah.
hip hinge. And when I look at these, Dr. Fang, I automatically think of Tai Chi and Qi Gong because this looks like exactly what I see people doing when they're doing those exercises. It's a combination of all of these.
Any movement is good.
And yes, absolutely. Isn't that the truth? Well, good. Well, let's see some pictures of it in action. So this first image we have here, and I really have to thank Allison for making these images because I wanted people, I'm going to start playing it so it's recorded since you'll be able to watch these again on YouTube, right? So this is proper form, right? Because I think a lot of times we'll say, okay, let's do something. But you could see, Allison, what is the proper form here? I guess I have the lunge with rotation. So you're combining two of the movement patterns here. What should we look out for? Is it the knee alignment and everything?
Yeah, so I included the lunge with rotation, a little bit of an advanced move. And let me just say, with any of these fundamental movement patterns, you can modify them. You can hang on to a chair or sit in a chair to squat or hold a chair to lunge. But I wanted to show you the variety so you get an idea that this can be fun. The lunge, I call it the humble lunge. And the reason I call it the humble lunge is because we're working one side at a time. It's called unilateral training. And our bodies are naturally asymmetric. And so when we work one side at a time, we become more symmetrical. So when you lunge like this, you know, here's my left leg and I'm turning, and then I turn on my right leg, it feels different. A good lunge is a long lunge if you can. And then coming down with your knee, like see how my knee gets down to 90 degrees. That is technically a proper form, but you don't have to go down that low. Go as far as you can, as far as you feel comfortable. If you can't do the twist, just do a lunge. I put a twist in so you can see that you can work your core while you're doing a lower body movement as well.
That's
So
wonderful.
the lunge is very humbling because you'll identify where your weaknesses are without having your stronger side compensate for you.
Yeah, I started with a lunge a few years ago and it took me a while. It took me a while to do it. I started very small and got bigger.
Yeah, and if you're just starting, use a chair for support so you feel balanced. And once you feel balanced, then you can, try it without the chair and go slow.
And this one here, the second one is the hinge with the pull.
Yeah. So
That's
this is the
that's why I labeled it.
Yeah, this is the hip hinge.
Mhm.
And then I also incorporated a second movement. So you're working your glutes here by bending down your
Mhm.
legs. And then I incorporated an upper body row, which works your back and your postural muscles. So this is also sort of a all over body movement that you can do with weights or without, or you could do it with a resistance band by stepping across the band. But I wanted to show you that you can work these large muscle groups more effectively with the time that you have.
Right. And then the next one is a push. I could see this working the core and the back also.
Mm-hmm. The push-up is a excellent movement. It can be done on the knees, it can be done on your toes, it can be done against the wall. So maybe you're just at work and you don't want to put your hands on the ground. Use the wall, do a wall push-up, and you can do it slow, you can do it more fast to get a little cardio work, like doing a little bit of pulsing there, or you can go nice and slow. But yes, this works your core and it works your chest muscles and your upper back.
And it's probably important to keep your shoulders relaxed so you don't hurt your neck. Do you think about that sometimes?
Absolutely. We want to, in any exercise, we want to keep our shoulders down and back and our core engaged. I'll
And
talk a little
breathe
bit more.
and
Yeah, and
breathe,
breathe.
right? And
Yeah.
breathe.
It helps, I think, when you have somebody coaching you to remind you of these things, because I often like see myself when I'm exercising, my shoulders are up here, like, oh, put my shoulders back down and round them out and brace my core. It's nice to have those reminders. Yeah, the
Very good.
bracing the core is actually really important if you start to, especially if you start to incorporate weights
Mhm.
and they will try to throw you off balance. Your core is what will keep you centered in the line of gravity.
Very good. Um, so I just wanted to introduce this one quick topic when it comes to weight training, which is the direction that you move the weights in is different, right? So there's eccentric and concentric movement, and there's benefits to both. When I did my longevity conference, they really focused on eccentric as building muscle, but Allison, you said both can be valuable.
Mhm. Yeah, I love this slide, Dr. Moritov. So in this case, in this picture, this figure is doing a bench press.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's going down, when that weight is going down, you're moving against gravity, right? Because gravity wants to push that weight down. So you're controlling it and moving it against gravity. And then when you push it back up, you're moving with gravity when it's coming down. And then when you push it back up, you're moving against gravity. So you can play with eccentric and concentric with the tempos. So when you're pushing back up on the concentric side, this is where you create force, power. It's actually where you're burning a little bit more calories because it's that power move that moves, that presses the weight away from your body. That can transfer to if you're working on your golf swing or your tennis swing or throwing a bowling ball, for example. Working on that power move is
Mm-hmm.
how you get stronger to transfer that to other things in your life. So I encourage you, if you try these movements, play with the tempo. You can go real slow on one and fast on another,
Mm-hmm.
down slowly, up fast, or you can go down fast so you catch it and that triggers different muscles, and then up slowly. And you're
Okay.
working your brain and your muscles in different ways. It's really cool.
That's good. That gives us more options of what to do.
Mhm.
And then I just wanted to introduce this topic of hormesis since we're talking about changing our body. This is a really important concept, and it comes across in so many different parts of our life. It's making us stronger through a little bit of a stressor, right? Like weight training. Some other hormetic properties can be cold or heat exposure. If you ever heard of cold plunge or the cold treatments, fasting, of course, is a hormetic activity. But you have to moderate and be careful with it. But I do want to just point out that we are, just like this tree, you can see this beautiful picture of the tree. it's on a windy hillside. It's become stronger with the wind. But if the wind is too strong, that tree's going to blow over when it was a sapling. So it's all about finding a balance. Dr. Feng, do you see this sometimes, hormesis, in your students?
Any kinds of external pressure, whether it's emotional, psychological, spiritual, or physical,
Mm-hmm.
it acts the same way. Is that if you can handle it, it becomes a lesson. It becomes
That's
an
right.
improvement for all level of your being.
That's right. I mean, that's why we're here, right? So thank you. I just wanted to introduce that idea. And then a couple of slides about overtraining, and then I want to get to Dr. Feng's presentation. We've already talked about this a little bit. You could have this slide, but I just wanted to point out some symptoms of overtraining. And then just be aware of restricting calories can be not good when you're building muscle, and that you want to schedule your recovery time. And then tips for success, Allison already mentioned this, is keeping a strong core. More is not always better, better is better. So do it in a way that isn't overtraining. Your training frequencies just sort of depends where you are, starting a couple times a week can be fine. And then making sure you're getting that good nutrition. These are just some ways to build a strong core. It doesn't have to be crunches on the floor. You could be standing and doing some standing, high knee raises works your core also, or you could sit in a chair. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Walking. So this is our cardiovascular, and I just want to mention that walking is great, right? So walking improves your sleep. It takes toxins out of your body. It can help control the blood sugar spike and mitigate stress. So if you're looking for, I have to do some cardiovascular, you could just go for a walk. And I wanted to talk about these heart rate zones really quickly, because I have in green here that, zone 1 and zone 2, and then zone 3. I really would want you to live in zone 1, zone 2 with some episodes in zone 3. And you could see I did some calculations here about what that would be for a 50-year-old. Because you don't have to have your heart rate so fast to have a benefit. You really have fat burning in zone 2. You have some endurance improvement in zone 2. So you can still get a good cardiovascular workout without stressing yourself out too much. I just wanted to point that out. Okay, and then I wanted to introduce Qi Gong. So we're so thrilled to have Dr. Feng here. Qi Gong is really a moving meditation. It's a body-mind exercise, and it's really a lifetime journey. And so Dr. Feng, take it away. What do you want to tell us about Qi Gong?
Qi Gong essentially is a promotion and cultivation of energy and blood flow. So energy includes physical energy, emotional energy, spiritual energy, so on. And blood flow is just good circulation, which comes also from good diet. So Qigong primarily is to promote good energy of all sorts and good blood flow. Two types of exercises that we do in Qigong. One is external movement, any movement is considered Qigong. Playing ping pong, playing basketball, any movement. There are some prescribed movement that's been passed down through a variety of schools of thought of Qigong. Taoist Qigong, Buddhist Qigong, medical Qigong, so on. And these are for the purpose of enhancing wellness in those areas. And the other type of Qigong is an internal type of Qigong, where you use your intention. Three things you need in Qigong practice. Number one, your body needs to be there. Number two, you need to have some sort of intention, as talked about earlier, interest. Number three, you need to breathe. So those three things we focus on in terms of Qigong practice. And there's thousands of kinds of Qigong practice. You need to find the one that works best for you. I'm going to introduce you some basic stuff that you can do for yourself. Stand as we talked about earlier, as Allison talked about earlier, knee in line with your toes. Shoulder width. Top of the head face the sky, feet planted on the ground, a gentle bend. So you're sitting down, shoulders are relaxed. Calm your heart. Very simple exercise. Grab energy from the earth, lift it up to the sky. Bring sky energy through you back to the earth. You can also increase that by doing a squat. Bend down, lift, bring it into your chest, push it out, open up. When you open up, take your scapula and squeeze it together and bring it back. So there's many different ways to do all these exercises. Another one that's very simple is shaking, shaking, shaking. Not just muscularly, organ as well. Shake your bladder, shake your stomach, shake your lungs. Very gentle, please. Shake your brain. Whole body shake. Loosen everything up. Another exercise that's easy to do is exertion. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Front, side, front, side, front, side, top. Bottom. One hand up, one hand down.
Mm.
This is also in Palanji. It's so brocade Qi Gong. Side, side, side. Twist your spine. And twisting your spine, you're squeezing your internal organs. Put some effort in there. Front, side, up, down, one hand up, one hand down, sideways. Put some energy and then relax. 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 And relax. Another exercise you can do very simply is just tap. Stimulate your muscles. Muscles only contracts. These exercises, we're agitating the muscle, stimulating it, waking it up. Yang channel, yin channel, heart points. Yang channel, yin channel, heart points. Take the palm, gently tap your chest. Lung and heart located in conception 17, Tanjong Point. Gentle. Monkey peak. Intercostal space. Stimulating your lungs. Check your body. Is there any place that's swollen? Check your glands. Are the glands swollen? Usually when the glands are swollen, your body is telling you you have a mild infection or something is happening that's inflammatory. Take care of it. Visit a professional or any professional that you choose, whether it's allopathic, homeopathic, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic. Choose one that you like. You should have a staff of people to take care of you. Massage your belly for digestion. Tap your belly. Inguinal canal. Buttocks point. Back of the hand, rub your kidney points. Lower back. Use your index finger to massage your transverse processes down to your tailbone, the sacral foramen. Inhale. Relax, exhale. There are many different types of breath training that you can learn with Qi Gong practice. But basically, move. Move. Tai Chi, Qi Gong, work in the same principle. Move. Have some intention, have some concept about how to use energy from your feet, transferring through your lower chakra, your lower dantian, into the rest of the extremities. Many things you can do that are all the same. Some people say, oh, teach me one type of Qigong. Every movement, if you have your breath, you have an intention, you have your body, is a Qigong practice.
Thank you, Dr. Feng. Wow, that was
Thank
amazing.
you.
Sean, can I get the slides back up? Yes, look at all those hearts. I'm sending hearts too. Okay, well, I'm so relaxed now. That was that was wonderful.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up with osteoporosis, osteoporosis is important, and this is why. So, if you fall and break a hip, it actually increases your mortality more than a heart attack or breast cancer. All comers breast cancer, because some breast cancer obviously is more advanced than others. But a broken hip really affects quality of life, and quite often leads to decreased quality of life and even death within a year. I've seen it many, many times. So osteoporosis is important. I'm having a hard time advancing now. Oh, thank you. Now I went too far. Okay, perfect. So we've already pretty much talked about everything you need to know for osteoporosis, which is weight-bearing exercise, Qigong, weight training, walking, resistance training is all really good. If you do have osteoporosis, you want to try to avoid high impact exercises and excessive, bending and twisting, because usually it's in the lumbar spine. So you just want to be a little careful of that. And then I just wanted to do a slide on the different types of resistance training, like Allison had mentioned the bands. But there's many different fun things you could do. A weighted vest. This is actually the one I have at home. And it has been shown in studies to improve density in the hip, right? Which is a good place to improve your density. My advice, if you're interested in a weighted vest, is to start really low. So I bought mine at about 10%. It's a little too heavy. So I would start at maybe 5% of your ideal body weight and get one that's adjustable, because I am eventually going to have to buy a new one, and I'll gift my my other one to someone else. But I would start low, because it is I got a 12-pound one, and it's a little too heavy. And then restorative exercises. We'll talk more about this next week also with stress management, but just like Dr. Feng said, there's so many different type of practices, right? And in Qigong too, there's restorative. Some of that was super energetic. I could see it was really fabulous. But there's so many different restorative exercises. But if you come home and you're tired and you don't want to do weight training or do anything cardiovascular, do something restorative. That's a great option that improves flexibility and muscle as well. Movement overall helps mood, it improves sleep, it can create community. I really want to go to Dr. Feng's studio now, so I'm sure there's a wonderful community there. It does help your mind and cognition, like we said, and decreases constipation. A lot of people suffer with constipation, and they'll say to me, oh, my constipation got so much better when I went to New York and walked everywhere, right? So exercise really helps that if you're suffering. And then just a quick summary, be safe, be sure you don't restrict your calories. And then, have an intention, have a mindset, like we've been saying, and it really helps make it more meaningful. Please reach out to Dr. Feng if you're interested. That's his website there, the taoistcenter.com. You can also register for Qi Gong classes there, which are really great. You can reach Allison at her email. And then this is our YouTube channel. So CCC Integrative Medicine, we will have all of our videos up there that you can watch again. And that's our phone number. So right now I saw someone asked how far we book out for new patients. It depends. It's, I think, a couple of months right now. But yes, please give us a call if you're interested in anything that we've been talking about. We're here for you. And maybe we should answer a few questions in the few minutes that we have left. Donna, are there any questions in the Q&A?
There are. We have a question. What is the minimum intake of protein needed to gain muscle at age 80, and best protein for intake?
Allison, do you want to talk about that, or do you want me to?
Well, we have some guidelines for protein intake, which I think I know in Dr. Moritov's presentation, she recommended 1 gram per pound of body weight, and that is actually a really good one for building muscle. It's a little hard to get there because that would be like 150 grams or 130 grams, depending on your size. For an 80-year-old female, I guess, or male. I'm not sure because there is a difference, but I would probably start somewhere around 80 grams if you can. So, or try to aim for 30 grams per meal, 25 to 30 grams per meal for 3 meals a day, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. 30 grams per meal is great. And then it helps balance your blood sugar too. So that would be wonderful. And then as far as sources, natural is best, right? So wild, organic, low fat protein, animal protein. You can have vegetable protein as well. Legumes, tofu is all excellent sources. Any other questions, Donna?
Yeah, there's another one. What is an ideal mix or number of days of restorative, cardio, and weight training to work up to each week?
Well, I think that sort of depends where you start, right? So I think if you're starting, I would do weight training twice a week, and you can break it up into different, muscle groups so that you give a muscle group a whole week to recover before you challenge it again. What do you think, Allison, for that?
So the way I look at it, the national guideline for movement is 150 minutes per week. And keep in mind, that's just a guideline. You can be a little bit less, a little bit more, it doesn't matter. And the way I like to think of it, I recommend about 50% in cardio, 30% in resistance training, and 20% in mind body. So that would give you on a weekly basis a really great overall workout for your mind, your body. You can combine everything that way and plan it against those 150 minutes as a goal, or maybe start as a 100-minute goal.
I think that's great. Somebody had asked about where to start the weighted vest, and I'm just trying to type into the chat. Start about 5% of your ideal body weight. I think that would be good as a starting point. Okay. Any other questions?
There's one asking about the recording, but I think what we're doing, we are happy to send out a copy of the PowerPoint, but I think for the recording, are we referring to the YouTube channel?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's a great place. CCC at Integrative Medicine. So Comprehensive Cancer Center Integrative Medicine on YouTube.
Great. And anybody, it's fine to put in the chat you'd like the PowerPoint. Also, feel free to reach out to our team at Integrative Medicine and just let us know you're interested in the PowerPoint. There's different ways we can make sure folks get it. So we're happy to send information out if people are asking for it.
Yeah, and I'm putting Rochelle's email. Rochelle told
perfect.
me to
Thank
put
you.
her email. She said emailing her
Perfect.
is
She just put
better.
it in.
Oh,
She put
Rochelle,
it
you're
in.
the best.
She
You're the
put it
best.
Yeah.
She's a better typer than me. So wonderful. Well, are there any other questions, or should we say goodbye to everyone? Goodbye and thank you.
Thank
I
you.
think that's, yeah.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you.
appreciate all your time and effort. And thank you so much, Dr. Muritov, for including me in this. And Dr. Fang, thank you very much too. I'm very grateful.
Oh, pleasure having you. It won't be the
Yeah.
last time for sure. I have my mind's cooking for more opportunities. So thank you for joining me.
Yeah, let's get everybody fit and strong.
I love it. Okay, have a
All
great
right.
rest of the day, everybody.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.